Hey guys, it's Allison here. I totally forgot that I made a promise that I was going to create a Instagram live to recap what I talked about yesterday at the Serendipity event that I spoke at in the Health and Wellness House, where I talked about self-limiting beliefs. At that event, it was really, I think, really a great event, and I shared some really great content, so I'm going to share some of that with you guys. We live in a world where we are expected to do all these different, roles, responsibilities. We are expected to move and work 100 miles an hour. We're supposed to be everything for everyone and, do it with a smile on our face and make it look seamless and sexy and amazing. And typically what that happens and when we kind of operate in that type of life, we put ourselves on the back burner. And we know that we should be eating healthy and we should be working out and that we should be taking better care of ourselves, but we simply don't do it because we are doing so much for everyone else. And when it comes the time for us to, start a new workout program or wake up early and do the workouts or whatever the case may be, we tend to fall on these excuses, or we tend to fall on these things that we make to be our truth. That truth can be, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to cook healthy meals. My schedule is so busy. I don't like working out. Working out isn't fun. I just have so many other things that I have to do. I can't fit in working out. Or if I take time to work out, then I'm being selfish because I should be spending time with my family or my spouse or my children or whatever the case may be. And these truths that we create are literally just fueled by self-limiting beliefs. And we all have them. And our self-limiting beliefs are actually things that serve us, or they did serve us at one point. And when it comes to health and wellness, and when we decide or not decide to do certain things, it typically stems from this, experiences that we've had. So perfect example. I had a client, we're going to call her Mary. I'm not going to use her name because she is on Instagram, but she did give me permission to use her story. So I had a client, Mary. When she came to me for personal training, she was 100 pounds overweight. She was struggling in her marriage. She was struggling because she was so uncomfortable in her skin that every time her husband would try to be intimate with her or tell her that she's beautiful. Hey, Tank, I love you too. All that stuff, she wouldn't believe it because she didn't feel comfortable in her skin. So her sex life was really struggling. Her marriage was struggling. She didn't have confidence when she was at her job because she didn't feel comfortable in her skin. And she wouldn't stick up for herself. She wouldn't go for promotions. She wouldn't, she let people walk all over her. And she was just sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And she knew she had to work out. She knew she had to eat healthy. She knew she had to do all this stuff. And I realized that although she knew all this stuff, there was a reason why she didn't do it. And I think all of us can relate. Like there's something in our life that we know is beneficial for us and is going to help us and is going to move us forward towards our goals, but we don't do it. And the first question I'm always wondering is why? Why don't we do it? Why don't we get up and wake up 30 minutes earlier and go work out? Or why don't we choose to eat the salad over the McDonald's? Why don't we do the things that we need to do to reach our goals? And when I was talking with Mary, what I realized was that she had a lot of self-limiting beliefs. She had a belief that she was always going to be overweight because everyone else in her family was overweight. She had a belief that exercise wasn't fun. And we dove a little bit deeper into that. And she shared with me when she was in 6th grade in PE class, she was trying to climb the rope and her teacher kept yelling at her and the whole class laughed at her. So she built this belief that exercise, is embarrassing. And then she tried out for the dance team and they made her run a lap and she couldn't run the lap and she fell and she was all embarrassed. And so, exercise is now scary. And then she dated a guy who played soccer. So she wanted to learn how to play soccer and be with him and be active and show him that he was active. She broke her leg. So now exercise is dangerous. She created all of these things in her head around exercise. And so because of that, she never exercised. And instead, she would rely on fad diets and pills and shakes and wraps and all these weird, fad, trendy things to lose weight because she refused to exercise. Ever. She would never exercise. So by the time she came to me at 100 pounds overweight, She knew that she had to exercise. She knew she had to do something. But here's a kicker, guys. The first 2 months of us working together, we never once set foot inside of a gym. She never once picked up a weight. She never once did anything that was like personal training with me. But in 2 months, she lost 40 pounds. How she lost that 40 pounds was by us going through and starting to dismantle her self-limiting beliefs. She had self-limiting beliefs around exercise. She had self-limiting beliefs around nutrition. She had self-limiting beliefs around, how to take care of herself, and realizing that if she takes care of herself, then she'll be able to take care of others and do other, be able to show up better in her marriage and her job with her children. And that's the thing. She had all these beliefs that she had. So here's the thing. I'm going to share with you guys a little activity. You can feel free to do it along with me right now if you want, or to save it for later. But it's a thing that I call flip the table. And I do this with most of my clients what I really find are struggling or feel stuck. Because I can give you a workout plan, I can give you a meal plan, but if this is still holding you back and this is still keeping you from reaching your goals, then it doesn't matter what workout plan I give you or what meal plan I give you, because you're not going to do it, or you're not going to commit to it, or you're going to do it for a day and then give up. And I think we can all relate to starting a program or starting something, being all excited about it, and then we give up because it's too hard, or because it's scary, or it's uncomfortable, or we start to go back to the lies that we tell ourselves, like, I don't deserve this, or what's going to happen to me. One of my clients said she's afraid to lose weight because all of her best friends are thick, and she doesn't want to be the skinny one in the group because she's afraid she's going to get made fun of. But however, she just got back from the doctor, and the doctor is saying, if you don't lose 50 pounds, we're going to put you on medication that you're going to be on for the rest of your life. And I don't know if you'll be able to conceive and have a child, which is one of her big goals. So she had these beliefs in her head, and we had to switch her belief. We had to flip the table of her belief so that she would start doing things that she needed to do to lose that 50 pounds, to not take the medication, and to have the ability to start, trying for a baby. So here's the first thing. What you do is you take the limiting belief that you have. So whatever belief that you have around fitness, nutrition, exercise, we can take it outside of fitness and wellness. It could be, your ability to get out of debt, your ability to be a better partner, a better spouse, a better mother, a better father, your ability to start a successful business, your ability to do whatever it needs to be. Doesn't matter what the limiting belief is. We'll just of course, I'm health and wellness, so I'm going to talk about that. But pick a limiting belief you have. And then think about that belief for a second. And the first thing you want to figure out is, where did that belief come from? And the reality is that it wasn't just one thing that created that belief. It was multiple incidences throughout your history, throughout your story and your journey of life that has built legs to support that table. So for me, I have limiting beliefs a lot. So, I don't want to get too deep, but let's just say, for example, I have a big issue with leadership. I have this thing where I don't believe that I'm a good leader. I believe that I can get people to a certain level, but then I freak out because I don't know if I feel their responsibility, and then I get afraid that if I don't get them to that next level, that I failed them and then I'm a failure. And I had to start looking at different evidence in my life when that happened. And I had to remember that one time where I took a leadership role and we didn't meet our goal. And seeing the look of just disheartenment on people's faces because they believed in me and they trusted me to get them from point A to point B as the leader of this group, and I'd let them down. So that was the first leg. And I think back to cheerleading, when I was captain of the cheerleading squad and we didn't get first place. And again, me feeling like I'm not a good leader. And all these things going, that I was just building this table of this belief that I'm a horrible leader and that I'm a failure and that I can only get people to a certain level of success, and that's it. And so my leadership skills and my leadership, thought process was in the can, not even good. And so when opportunities came up for me to take a leadership role, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't do it. On the job, I wouldn't take initiative, and that's so not who I am. I'm a go-getter. I love doing this stuff. But anytime that leadership was thrown into it, I would freeze. In certain things that I've been a part of, I'll have people at the top of a company come up to me and say, "Why aren't you already at the top? Like, why aren't you already here? Like, you have all this going on and you're just like not making it happen. What's going on? And the only reality is it's like, it's just my belief. So hold on a second, I have to shut the door. So that's part of it. Sorry, guys. So the second part of it is my belief, right? So it holds me back. And I know that I should be doing things. I know that I should. And yes, it's self-sabotage. You start to self-sabotage yourself. And you start to create these some limiting beliefs. I'm not going for this leadership position. I'm not going for this promotion because I'm not a good leader and I don't have what it takes. And then you stay in that and you act afraid. And you let your limiting beliefs serve you because they do. They comfort you. They make you feel okay. Because it gave me this excuse not to go for it because, well, I'm going to fail. I'm going to feel bad and whatever. And I've had clients that say, the reason why I don't like working out is because like I'm afraid I'm not going to like lose weight, or I'm afraid that I'm going to fail, or I'm afraid that like I'm going to get to the gym and not know what I'm doing and look stupid. And all these things that we keep doing over and over again, and it keeps us stuck. It's your belief. And here's the beauty of this whole situation. Your belief, it's a choice. It's not a fact. The belief that you have is something that you've just chosen to like believe. And you can easily change that. So all the evidence I just shared about me being a horrible leader, right? That supported this table of me being a horrible leader, I had to find new evidence. I had to create new stories. I had to create new facts. I had to find solid things that would support the opposite of that belief. And I had to put in work. So sometimes it's not just thinking things, it's also putting in the work. So the first thing I started doing was I started reading a lot of John C. Maxwell's books. He's like the godfather of leadership personal development. And I knew that if I started reading books on leadership, and reading books on faith-based leadership and value-based leadership, that would help me to start thinking differently about myself as a leader and really kind of create a new definition of what leadership was. So those are my first two legs of my table. Number one, starting to read books and like do research on leadership. Two, I created a new like paradigm of leadership as it relates to me. So leadership was no longer scary. Leadership was no longer this thing that I feared. It was something that got me excited. Three, I started working with people with this new thought process, a new paradigm, and started looking at the little wins, the small wins that I was getting. And that became creating evidence where people would say, oh my gosh, thank you for doing that. Thank you for this. This is great. And it was all these little things I started to create and build to where eventually I had enough legs that I could flip the table. And now my belief of, I am a good leader. I am an effective leader. It had solid legs to stand on. And when you flip that table, you just wipe off that negative stuff that you had from the past and you have a brand new table. And you keep building on that and you hold yourself accountable. And that's the beauty of a limiting belief and being able to flip the table to create a belief that's empowering and that gets you excited and that gets you motivated and that gets you to a point where you really want to take things to the next level. So I challenge you to take your limiting belief, take a moment and examine all the evidence and the proof, which is really just BS. It's really just your experiences that didn't serve you, that don't serve you anymore. We have to let go of the things that don't serve us. We can't hold on. It's fall, right? Like in certain parts of the country now, the trees are starting to let go of their leaves, and that's the beauty of fall. Trees aren't worried about holding on to their leaves. They let them go. They let it go. It happens. And you see the leaves all over the floor, all over the ground. And when I walk around, I love fall. Fall's my favorite season. And I love looking down and seeing all those leaves on the ground because it's just a reminder just to let it go and to know that all that stuff eventually is going to be raked up. It's going to be put in like a leaf blower, put in a bag, put in compost, and gone. And over the next few months, that tree is going to bud new leaves and bud new flowers and create new experiences and create new opportunities and create this new way to create beauty and love and life for people to look at and admire and to do its job. And that's where we are right now. And so if you're stuck in your limiting belief, it's time to take that evidence that you've had over the past month, years, decades, flip that table, create new evidence, and walk solely in your new truth. and do your best to hold yourself accountable to those truths. That's the hardest part, is once you flip the table and you create that structure, you have to challenge yourself to stick with it and to walk in that truth. Hi, Jess. Hi, I love you. And that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're doing that. You want to make sure that you keep living in your new truth, because it's going to be so easy to let that come back to you and bite you in the butt and hold you back. So hopefully this was helpful for you. Like I said, it went really well. It was my first time actually talking about it in front of people. I typically do it one-on-one with my clients, but I thought it was really cool to share for a group of people, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So hopefully it was helpful for you. If you have questions, you can always message me. You can always DM me. You can always reach out to me on Facebook. You can email me, Allison@AllisonTips.com, whatever you need. If you have limiting beliefs, or if you just want to kind of talk through how to flip the table a bit more, let me know. We can definitely do that. But I appreciate you guys listening in and commenting and being amazing, and hopefully you have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. But I definitely would like to hear from you and know what's going on with your limiting beliefs and how you are planning on flipping your table to walk in your new truth and be empowered to live your best life. So thanks for watching. Happy Friday. I'll see you guys later.